Christian Horner is leaving.
Is this what racing has become?
You saw it, I saw it.
Welcome back to Drive Like a Girl, episode 22. I'm feeling 22. Please don't copyright me, Taylor. I love you so much.
Woo! Okay.
Hey, Jess.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
How have we been? We have been a bit MIA.
Yeah, we've not filmed a podcast for the last 2 races.
Yeah.
But we've been okay on socials, so
yeah, that's all
something.
thanks to you.
Thank you.
Everybody go watch Jess's video that she made introducing us. I've literally had it on repeat. I love it.
It was so fun. It took me a while to edit, and it did flop, but it was... I love it. I keep watching it back.
Yeah, I keep watching it
I just
back.
love it. And
Meet Jess.
It's just... Because it's like the trend is 2000s old, like
teen
movies where they have the narrator voiceover guy. A bit like The Holiday when she's on the plane and
just
she's going...
like The Holiday.
Yeah, literally. And it's like... Yeah. It's like, meet Jess. And
It's
this is
AI,
Jess,
right?
and this is Sammy. Yeah, it was all AI. I did it, the voiceover, if you want to do it, it's on CapCut. But I think you have to pay for it. But I have CapCut Premium. Sorry. So it just came with, sorry. I do have Premium. But, no, it's really fun. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, I love it.
it.
So, yeah, go follow us on social.
Yeah, go follow us on TikTok.
Up to?
Well, Eurovision last night it was, and Sebastian
gosh.
Vettel was there,
Yeah.
supporting. Hello.
Look at him. I love Seb. I love the photos you showed me of him with all the acts.
He's so
beaming,
cute,
isn't he?
Literally. But Great Britain, got 0 points for the public.
From the audience.
From the public, yeah. But still, that's bad, considering it's quite, I don't know, it's a catchy song.
I liked it. I actually really liked it.
It was
but a lot of
giving...
people didn't like it.
It was giving Sabrina Carpenter, but for
That's
Eurovision.
Exactly what
Yes!
I thought. I was like, this is girly pop Sabrina Carpenter
It is.
to a T.
That's why I thought the girls are going to be behind this.
Yeah.
But the girls weren't.
Girls were not behind it.
And obviously we couldn't, because we can't vote.
Well, I
for
tried
us.
to vote, right, because they were saying you can vote on the app. So I downloaded the app, but it obviously doesn't work here because I thought I could just, Love Island, vote on the app.
Oh,
like for
VPN?
free. Yeah, no. Oh, I should have got a VPN.
Because I was thinking, do I just get a VPN and pretend I'm somewhere? But that's cheating. So, maybe not.
So maybe not. Wow, that's actually a crazy
Yeah,
idea.
maybe I shouldn't have said that because that's, bad, isn't it?
Well, whatever. I think it's fine. But,
Kind of.
but yeah, Eurovision was big. And we just finished watching Imola straight off the back of the race.
Literally. We didn't watch the first...
20 minutes.
Because unfortunately, down to me, I didn't wake up till late and I need to do so many things.
We were in
But the
boots.
race, I need to get bits because it's Sunday and I needed it for before tomorrow. And I was like, oh my God, the race is at 2. We're going to miss it.
I
So we're
think
watching it on
everyone
the
can
phone.
relate, though, because, a Sunday, you've got to get those little jobs done. You kind of want to, it's the last
It's
day
an
of the
awkward
weekend.
time, yeah. But no, we did watch it and we're back and we're here to give you a little rundown. And also I wanted to talk about a few things that happened before the race over the weekend in Imola. And let's get going. Okay.
Woo! Okay, Jess, break down the tea from before the race.
I will, darling. Okay, so this is round 7 of the 2025 season. So the first Grand Prix that happened in Imola was 1980. And it's tough corners, a lot of grass and gravel, so there's no room for error. Like we saw had a few people in the gravel and a few people on the grass.
A lot of overtakes this race.
A lot of overtakes, but that's funny because Oliver Berman just before the race said it's tough to overtake.
Well, it might be tough, but people
maybe
giving
tough.
It their go.
Yes. But yes, the last 3 years have been won by Max Verstappen. And obviously he has now won his 4th consecutive
continued that
time of winning in Imola. He has. But in 1994, as everyone is aware, Senna and Roland lost their lives in that race, which is really sad. So they saw loads of flags, loads of memorial for those two drivers, which is, it happened on the same weekend, which is so sad.
Obviously, I think, have we spoken about this before? I think we've spoken about it briefly, potentially, on one of our other episodes. But obviously, Senna was like arguing to not race after, is it Roland's?
Yes.
Is it Roland's death? And then they continued on anyway. And
Yeah.
then, unfortunately, Senna
He did
then
die,
lost his
yeah.
life, which is mental.
Awful.
And I saw actually on TikTok, I don't know, this girl who said her granddad used to work for McLaren when, like, back in the day for, like, Senna, and then he quit after that because he was so appalled by the race continuing on after, like, Senna's death or something. Like,
Really?
I don't know, I can't remember, but so her granddad then quit, but he's got, like, all the memorabilia in, like, his like office or garage or something, but he's, like, refused to go back to a race, like, since.
Wow.
Don't know. Yeah, crazy.
It is really sad.
Really sad.
But obviously it has continued and it's still on today. But apparently,
it's
could
not
be the
happening.
last one.
Yeah, rumour. I mean, well, they mentioned it during the race, so I looked it up, and the contract for Imola is actually up after this year. So this is potentially the last time for a while that we see Formula One on this track. Next year, 2026, I think Madrid is signed to be a new track. And then the FIA CEO doesn't want there to be more than 24 races per season, which I get, you know, you'd have to be filling in a lot, you'd take a lot less breaks. So yeah, potentially the last time for a while that we see Imola.
Yes, which is sad for Kimi Antonelli.
His home race. And today,
unfortunately, he did DNF.
Yeah.
Which is sad, so...
But didn't he have a cute... That is really sad. And it's hard to think of, like, a home race when all your family... But he bought his whole schoolmates.
His whole school classmates. Because he misses out on all of the school trips. Because obviously he... is an F1 driver. There's hardly any time for school. I don't know how he does it on the side, but anyway, he did bring all of his classmates to the weekend, so they all got VIP Mercedes passes, and they're all in their Mercedes merch.
Yeah, I saw them all come, like, do a little walking tour of the paddock. But I wonder, like, where... So he must be, like, sixth form equivalent, right? So, like, where in his class or year do you think he sits? Do you think he's, like, mega popular for being an F1 driver?
Has to be.
Do you reckon?
He
or do you
has
reckon
to
he's
be,
like, people are like, what?
No, he has to be the popular kid in school.
Where were you? What were you in school?
I wasn't in the popular group, no.
No, neither.
But I wasn't, like, you know, had no mates. I had friends.
I was middle.
I think, sixth form, I then became friends with the popular girls.
Nice.
And, like, we became, like, a massive group.
Yeah, I think that happens in sixth form.
But everyone just, by sixth form, no one actually cares.
Yeah.
But
I was always, like, I think that happened, like, in sixth form, like, groups become much bigger.
Yeah.
But me and my, like, group of 3 friends, we were always just, like, 3, like, a random in the middle. Called ourselves, like, what did we call ourselves? I can't remember. But we, like, I think I was friends with everyone, but we never fit into any particular group.
I wasn't friends with everyone. I wasn't like that girl who was like loves everyone. There was definitely people at school I didn't like. I would never speak to him. Never speak to him now. If I saw him on the street, would never clue.
Dead to me.
Yeah.
But never clue.
But that's
what's that meme that's like, I'm sorry, I do not know who you are.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If I saw her walking down the street, I would never clue. I would never clue. Or whatever she says. Anyway. I don't know who that man is.
I don't know who that man is.
Anyway. But yeah, so he bought all his classmates, which is so nice. So but I want to now talk about Jack Doohan, because obviously this is his first race.
Is it? Well,
hello? The first race without him. And he's obviously been replaced by Franco Colapinto.
What do you think of that choice?
Yeah, I think Franco was great last year.
Yeah, really
I really don't think it's like a bad race. And apparently, Christian Horner wanted him, Franco, instead of Liam Lawson or Yuki. He was like, no to Lawson or Yuki.
Why didn't they get him?
Dunno.
Oh, the T.
But yeah, the T. But yeah, so Jack Doohan, they said they were going to replace him for the next 5 races. Give Franco a chance in 5 races. Okay? But then Fabio Briatore, That is definitely his name, I think. Is that his name? Yeah. He was saying... Flavio.
Yeah.
Briatore.
I'm not sure about the second name, how to pronounce
Anyway,
that.
he was saying, like, no, it's not going to be... Like, he's in the car now. So it's like...
Wow.
But when you first made that decision, like, a week ago, or a week and a bit ago, you said it was for the 5 races, and now he's come back and said, no, you know, we're just going to... It's his position, and Jack is the reserve driver. But we'll see.
I feel bad for Jack. I mean, obviously, he wasn't doing, like, amazing, but was he doing, like, that bad as a rookie?
This is the thing. And that's why everyone is very controversial. And the amount of hate that Jack Doohan was getting, because everyone wanted Franco, everyone thought Franco deserved that seat. And so Jack was getting so much hate online. And unfortunately... it's just not then worked out for him. That is sad.
What did he say? You said that his dad said something about it.
Yes. So Mick, his dad, Mick Doohan, he used to be a motorcycle racer, and he's like massive friends with Mick Schumacher.
Yeah.
Not Mick Schumacher.
Michael Schumacher.
Michael Schumacher.
Yeah.
And you saw that, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw a TikTok where Michael Schumacher gave Jack Doohan his first ever go-kart, and they're besties. Well, I don't know where they stand right now, but like Michael Schumacher and Mike Doohan, yeah, besties, lived next door to each other. Michael
Monaco.
Schumacher would come over and stay over all the time.
I know.
Mental.
But Mick did say... Mike. Sorry,
I'm
getting all these Mikes and Micks.
Yeah, literally.
He did say it's disappointing the way things have turned out, and that he did think that Jack performed quite well, considering, like, especially in practices and qualifying. But he said, anyway, it's a customer team now. Yeah. Basically saying they're just doing it because that's what everyone wanted to see. Yeah. Not maybe what was actually good or fair. Not necessarily good, but fair for Jack. I don't think it's fair not giving rookies chance. I mean, I felt the same with Liam Lawson. Yeah. With that whole situation. But these teams don't wait around. No. Like, it's brutal. And we've seen that for years.
It feels like it's so getting... brutal. I don't know. I'm obviously not been a Formula 1 fan for, like, decades. But, like, it does feel like we're losing a bit of patience, to be honest.
Yeah. Everyone wants to get up there. Everyone wants to be at the top. But it's like... Look at Williams. They've waited and waited. I know I'm Williams fan, I may be biased, but I think the way that they've gone about things is, yes, they dropped, what's his name? Oh my goodness. God, Logan Sargent.
Well, yeah, but they
needed to, yeah, they tried with Logan.
They gave
I think,
every opportunity.
And I think that's the way it should be done. And look at them now.
Yeah.
They've waited all the time. Now they got Carlos Sainz. Like, the fact that Carlos Sainz signed for them really shows you so much as a team. And I just don't think Alpine are that team for me at the minute. I don't know. What do you think about Flavio coming back?
I think it's an interesting one. Obviously, we saw it in Drive to Survive last year's season, him coming back. And he seems like a really interesting personality. He seems like a no F's kind of given kind of guy.
He's a cheater.
Well, allegedly.
But like, he was banned, so he was caught out. I think I do think how many teams do you think are cheating and getting away with it?
No,
we just don't know about
in this day and age.
Yeah, but there must be ways. Surely there must still be ways to get around certain.
Well,
cheating.
There's things that obviously, like, tiny things you can do that we saw, like putting less fuel in, or like for weight.
Yeah, but they're getting caught. I'm talking about teams that are not getting caught. Yeah. And I'm scared that they're bringing back this guy, and Alpine are going to get.
He just seems a bit old for me, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people are like, it's great. It's giving like Formula 1 back what it used to be like, and giving that. And it's just like, I understand that, but then on the other hand, do I agree with someone who was had a lifetime ban? Should they be allowed back in?
Yeah.
But obviously certain people would have made sure that.
I don't know.
Didn't happen and changed. So, and he got what he wanted. He's back in Formula 1, mate. Yeah. But I don't know.
No, I don't know. I think, like, for me, he seems kind of old. Just, like, enjoy retirement, Han. But, like, if you're enjoying...
They don't want to. This is their, like, clearly
and if you're still,
their
like,
life.
Obviously, I'm not saying that if you're old, you can't, whatever. But, like, but, like, if he's got it, he's got it. And if he's got the knowledge, then maybe, yeah, I've just yet to, like, feel it, really.
Yeah. I mean, he's making this decision
Yeah.
and then going back on 5 races for Franco and then saying, no, he's in the car.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Anyway, moving on. So I did see on the Formula One website that Alonso, they sat down and they showed him his epic battle with Michael Schumacher in Imola in 2005.
Yeah.
And again, I just want to talk about how insane it is for a rookie like Alonso.
A rookie like Alonso.
But do you know what I mean? I just think it's insane. So I was 5 when that battle happened. 5.
Yeah.
And he's now still in the race.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I know.
20 years later.
What did he say?
2 decades.
I know. Well, is he smashing it? No, but...
Well, this race didn't go. He was not happy. He was not happy.
What did he say? I quoted it. He was like, I am the most unluckiest effing
driver, yeah.
Oh dear.
But anyway, we'll go on.
What did he say about the race between Michael and him?
He was just explaining it and the whole weekend and the build up. But he had a mask on, so I'm not sure what that was.
Like a COVID mask?
Yeah.
All right.
So I couldn't really see his
Throwback.
smile. I mean, I don't know. He did have... I swear he had a mask on. We'll move on.
We'll move on.
But in other news, Carlos Sainz Sr. Potentially in the running for the new FIA president.
No
Have you been
way.
seeing that? How have you not been seeing
that?
that? It's been everywhere. So he's been saying that he might be in the running. And then everyone's saying, well, is that not... like a conflict of interest with Carlos Sainz, and Carlos Sainz saying, well, not really, because if he was going to get that position, then Carlos Sainz Sr. wouldn't be his manager anymore, and like he's 30 years of age, he doesn't need his dad as a manager. But I'm like, yeah, but it's still his dad. Like, that's still a conflict of interest.
So what's the position that he'd be, like,
FIA president?
What, instead of...
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I know. And everyone's saying it's like a good idea. Like James Vowles, George Russell's like, yeah, it could work. But of course James Vowles is gonna be like, yeah, because that's like, again, you're involved in the conflict of interest.
I do think that's like, you need to declare that, sign the conflict of interest form.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Insane, but that is just some news that I thought it is funny. I can't believe you've not been seeing that. It's everywhere.
I missed it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, how is that not a conflict of interest? Like, it is.
No, I think it is.
I don't think it will happen.
I didn't know that there was a job opening.
I don't think there is. I don't think there is, but I think because of all the hate that they're getting,
I think so.
and there's a lot of pushback from all the drivers, and they're like kind of protesting in a way about the things that have been made. And for example, like recently, the FIA have reduced penalties for swearing, criticising officials, and dramatically reduced the possible fines that can be issued because of obviously all the harsh criticism that's been coming their way, which is fair. I agree with it. So they're reducing a few things like that. They did that last week. So hopefully, you never know, the FIA president could leave, because I think that's what most people want. Whether that will happen, I really don't know.
I can definitely understand why there potentially needs to be a rejig, a reshuffle.
Yeah.
Spark something new, you know, maybe.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
But
Oscar and Lando, they're having a bit of their relationship seems fine. I'm not seeing anything too, cray,
nothing
which
to
I normally
serious concern.
Yeah, exactly. Serious concern, I'm fine at the minute. But Oscar did say, and I quote, "We want the best person to win every weekend." And at the moment, that's what's happening.
At the moment, it is me.
And I think he had a little smirk, so it was a bit of a joke, I understand. And So hopefully things are going this way and they can get each other's banter. That's all good, and I'd be happy as Larry.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see that, but I definitely think it will happen. The more close they get and the more we go through the season.
Yeah, the more tension there will be.
100%.
Well, like, I think they are definitely right now teetering on, like, a line of, like, look, we're friends, or, like, there is a teammate here and there needs to be a level of respect. Like, even today in the race, when Lando was like, look, I'm just saying, like, I'm not asking you to swap us, but I am just saying that maybe it would be better if you did.
He's being, like, sweet about it, but then
trying
kind of
to be
pushy.
polite about it. Like, how long can this really last?
Yeah, because it was polite, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like, he's trying to be nice about it. Like, other drivers may have just said, like we've seen it before, where it can get to a moment where you just be like, look, what are you doing? Even with Lando and Piastri, we've seen it before.
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to be nice.
Yeah.
How long is that gonna last?
Yeah, not long.
Nah.
No way. It won't. It
if
won't
it gets
last.
any closer, I think there's like 10 points in it. Probably.
Yeah, it won't last.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be that harsh though, where they never speak again. Like for example, Nico and Lewis.
Yeah, no,
that's not nice. Don't like to see that. But of course, they're gonna get tension as we go along. It's how can you not? But anyway, I digress. Christian Horner is leaving Red Bull.
I did hear this,
but it's not.
But he's not.
So when this came out, I was like, oh my god, finally, because the rumours that we hear in the paddock, as we know, they come true.
Sometimes.
Not all the time, but most of the time. And I was like, is this going to be a case of this coming through? But then coming true. Max said he didn't even know that was a rumour when it first came out, because he tries to stay off social media. He doesn't like to go on it, which is fair because of the amount of hate these drivers get. It's ridiculous. And he said, someone close to him said, oh, have you seen this? And he's like, where is that coming from? How is that started as a rumour? Like, who has created that? He said it's so ridiculous. And Red Bull team did put on their Instagram like a few photos over the year of their like biggest celebration, and Christian Horner was in every single picture, kind of emphasising the fact that he has been the reason we have been successful and he ain't leaving the team. But yeah, that was a rumour for a bit and everyone was talking about it, and I was like, surely, like, will this come true, please? But no. It's not.
There's no smoke
Potentially
without
could,
fire,
though.
you know?
We still got time, you never know.
There's no smoke without fire, so we'll see.
Exactly.
But, no, but I would be shocked if he did leave, to be honest.
I would be shocked. Yeah. He's got too much of, what's the word?
Like a hold on the team, I don't know.
But like a personal, like, what's the word?
Connection?
Like, no, when they're just too, because he's obviously had those allegations back in 2024, and I think he really, and he's come through that and just has not, and it seemed to be okay, even though people are saying that being in the Red Bull team right now is really hostile, and everyone's feeling a bit weird and awkward with Christian Horner, and it's not that great as a team to work for. But he seems like he's very kind of he won't leave, he won't give up. What is that word where he's just like too stubborn in his ways to like leave? I don't know, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Kind of.
I feel like he just won't.
No, I don't think he will. No. Like, he will never walk away. I think someone will have to push him out.
Yeah. Talking about Max, he went through an alter ego called Franz Hermann. And that was because he did some testing in what type of car was it?
GT3, so it's just a different form of motor racing.
And basically, if people found out he was going to be there, it was going to be like manic for the organisers. They just were like, that's not going to happen. So they asked him to create a fake name. So he chose Franz Hermann. So now everyone's kind of gone into a massive meme, and everyone's now calling him Franz Hermann. Yeah. Ollie Berman did it as they were walking in to the paddock, and he was like, "How's Franz Hermann?" And now even Max winning Imola's race today, they're like, "Oh my god, Franz is like the best rookie ever." Like, he's which is quite funny. Yeah. And also, Toto Wolff wasn't at Imola. He had to FaceTime the team and give them a bit of like
I liked his little pep talk
to
Kimi, especially it being his home race. But he was at seeing his son graduate from uni.
His son's a bit older.
Yeah,
right?
Well, he's like 21 maybe.
So he had a different partner to Susie.
Yeah, Stephanie, I think
Before.
she was called, his ex-wife. And he's got a son and a daughter who are both...
from that marriage?
Yeah.
Right.
And then he's obviously got his son, is it Jack?
I'm not sure the name.
He's the little boy with Susie.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So he wasn't there, but...
That's nice. It's like, good... It's nice to see, these people have real lives and that he will value his
He's got
family.
to take that annual leave.
You got to take that annual leave,
Who approved that annual leave?
Jess is like, for what?
No, it is good that he got the leave. But talk about Susie, F1 Academy version of Drive to Survive is coming out on the 20th of March!
I can't wait.
I'm so excited because we as women don't look too much into F1 Academy, and we've always said this.
Yeah, we should.
Because obviously we only started getting into Formula 1 last year. So I think even trying to get and learn all the information for Formula 1, I was like, I need to just focus on Formula 1 now. I can't focus on both. But I think definitely now this season will come out because it really helped me when I watched Drive to Survive to get into Formula 1. So I really hope this Netflix series
100%.
will help, just people look at F1 Academy a bit differently and women drivers, and hopefully it will make them see that there potentially could be a woman in Formula 1. And and that is Susie's goal for 2030. She said she wants to make that happen.
Goal. I thought you said
Susie's goal.
I thought you said Susie was going to be in it. I was like, when?
No, but I think it would be amazing. And in the trailer they were saying, I'm one of the girls was like, oh, I'm not a model. Like they forget I'm not a model. I'm an F1 driver. And then they cut to another girl doing like a shot as in like a model. And I was like, oh no, I hope they don't make this into like them hating each other. I don't, because you know how some things with Drive to Survive, people like obviously people have criticism with how some things of Drive to Survive are made.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to see this for F1 Academy.
Yeah.
100%.
Some serious tea. No, it would be great because I got into Formula 1 through Drive to Survive and seeing all the tea and the behind the scenes making of it. So I think this will be huge for F1 Academy. So
definitely.
I can't wait.
So exciting. But on to qualifying now for Imola.
Yeah.
Yuki Tsunoda's crash was insane. Bad. And the fact that he came out just fine and just walked away as if nothing had happened. I mean, the halo, once again, is just saving these drivers. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because he literally walked away like not...
And he was upside down.
It was a crazy crash. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. But Franco crashed as well. And because of Franco's crash, Oliver shot up to 10th position in Q1, only for it to be deleted as the race control said it had been posted after the red flags were thrown for Franco's crash. So he started P19 for the race.
Yeah, and
he didn't do well in the race today at all. So really bad weekend for Oliver. And they were kind of, obviously Haas were like questioning it. So then it was late getting into Q2 because they were trying to explain like this is the reason, but I think it was like naught of a second as the red flag came out, and he just across the race. So across the finish.
That's really annoying. Just on Franco's crash, did we mention before about Mike Doohan?
No,
right,
we didn't.
So obviously we've talked about Mike a little bit already, but Mike, that apparently, he posted on his Instagram a picture of Franco's crash and saying, what was it? Very
interesting, and three laughing emojis.
What are you saying there, Mike?
Well, we know what he's saying there.
He deleted
it obviously, because his manager's probably, or someone from...
What are you doing?
You should not be doing that. No. Like, I'm sorry. No, you actually shouldn't be doing that.
And like...
I get it, it's hard.
Dangerous.
And I get he clearly doesn't agree. Of course he's not going to agree with them, like, dropping Jack. Of course, that's your son. Of course you're going to think that. But at the end of the day, you can't be doing that because that just makes then you look bad. Like, it makes you look so bad. And so glad he deleted it, but it's too late.
Yeah.
We've already seen it. And whether it's... Did we double check it's not a fake?
I did double check, and loads of news outlets are reporting it.
Because it potentially could be AI. I always think that with everything now, don't you?
An Instagram story could easily be like I could have taken a picture of the crash. Easily photoshopped his name. But it is like being reported on like multiple things. Like when I look it up, it's right there.
Yeah. So, well, not good.
Not
Mike.
Good. Maybe check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Carlos. He out-qualified Hamilton for the last 4 races now. And he got, those EA cards that I have? The new ones came out and Carlos got a higher, I think he got 90, which is higher than what Lewis got. And he was like, I'm higher than the GOAT. And then Alex was like, you've got higher and you replaced him at Ferrari. And then also they've been saying in the post-qualifying interviews to Carlos, like, you do know that you've out-qualified him now for the 4th time. And he was trying not to smile. Like, you just know.
Yeah.
You just know he's like
happy about
he's
that,
like rubbing his feet together. Like, this is great for me. But then talking about Lewis, we've got Ferrari. They qualified bad. They were out. Really bad. And they got P11 and P12. Charles quoted saying, it would hurt anyway, but to have it here hurts even more.
Yeah, because of the Ferrari fans.
Yes, of course. And Lewis just was devastated. But it did turn around for them, didn't it, darling?
It did turn around, and they did all right.
They did okay.
Not, Charles has definitely come out of that definitely not happy. But, good.
I think, considering what happened in qualifying, they have done amazing.
Well.
Yes.
I think Hamilton's definitely, this is the best that Hamilton has finished as well now in the season. So
he's feeling more positive.
Feeling happy.
But Carlos did qualify P1 in Q2.
Oh.
That's crazy. Why are you saying, that's insane?
I was like, wait. That's in Q2 of qualifying.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I was like, what? Yes.
P1 in Q2.
That's very good.
Qualifying. Insane.
Very good.
Insane. I'm so happy for Williams.
I can't wait to see him up there. We're going to see Carlos on the podium.
Oh my goodness, yes, we are. I feel like Alex is going to get there sooner though, just from the last couple races.
So sad.
Which is what should happen, because I think Alex has tried so hard, and we talked about this before, but he's had it hard, Alex, compared to other rookies that came in at the same time, like George and Lando. He deserves that. He deserves another podium.
He does.
Of course he does.
And, even today, we were really rooting for him to keep that position. It wasn't ever going to happen, but, I was really optimistic, and I think it will come.
Yeah.
I think it will come.
Yeah. I think so as well. Aston Martin, Alonso P5 and Stroll P8. So it was good qualifying from then. Not a good race, darlings. Yeah. As we said, Alonso, not a happy bunny.
Not happy.
Not a happy bunny. So that's really all I've got for qualifying.
Okay.
That I took from it, that I think are the main things that we want to take from and into the race. But the race is all down to you, my honey.
The race, I thought it was really action packed. Again, just a reminder, we did kind of basically miss the first 20 minutes. And I did a little recap look, and we saw the first lap, and obviously Max immediately got straight away ahead.
And you could just see from the wide shot, the bird's eye view, he just went woof.
Literally, yeah. How he does it.
It was the perfect race for Max.
Yeah, easy peasy. Back to olden times.
It literally was.
And he was ahead. He had no worries. He got 3 pit stops, no worries at all. So there was never really any kind of competition for that first place, which is annoying. But, we don't see it that often anymore. Let's not make it a regular occurrence.
Yes.
But it was all right. Max did really, really well. But then the other thing I heard that happened, but we didn't actually see it because, again, we were in booths. And Jess was playing it on her phone.
I was playing it out loud. Everyone was just staring at me in boots whilst I was trying to pick up my moisturiser, and it was just going, and let's light out on a waving game. And it was just like, What are you doing?
No, iconic. So we were kind of like, we had it there, but we were like in and out. But apparently, Alonso's brakes were on fire. So I heard that.
But he still finished.
Still finished.
I think maybe that's why he went vroom down the grid.
Yeah, must have been. Because I was literally very confused of what had happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, Max so fine. So I've just made my notes from throughout the race. They're probably going to be very like sporadic and random. I haven't grouped them together or anything, so we're just going to go in chronological order.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so George and Lando had a bit of a battle at the beginning. And George ended up pitting because the mediums were just not working, but Lando stayed out. And again, this was another race of tyres. I mean, they constantly race the tyres, but there's a lot of chat about it. Hards versus mediums. What's going to last? What's going to keep you out fastest? So there was a little battle at the beginning there. And was it a good idea for Lando to stay out? Remember you were saying at the beginning, like, oh, is it a like pit really early and try and get them to last for as long as possible with the tyres? But obviously we saw some safety cars, so we got some.
It didn't work out in the end, but then it did.
But then it did.
But then it didn't. But it was like they pitted him, and then it was a yellow flag, and straight away everyone's like,
"Oh, so annoying!" Yeah, that was annoying. Oscar was having a mare after pitting, because he came straight back out into just so much traffic. There was a lot of traffic in this race.
A lot, yeah.
Really bunched up quite close, apart from like Oliver Behrman, who we saw at the front of the safety car. But yeah, Oscar had a bit of a mare because obviously he was right up top. I think he was P2 at this point.
Yeah,
and then
he was.
Pitted. Lando was now P2, and then he came out, and it just did not work out at all. Completely bunched up. That was by lap 22. And then at this point, George was saying that something felt really broken with the rear of the car. And then the Mercedes were just not doing well at all. From this point on, but we didn't hear much about it, and like the data was showing that there was nothing wrong with the car, and that must be so frustrating.
Yeah,
like being a driver,
yeah,
and feeling something wrong, but then I don't know, someone's back.
Yeah, they're telling you like, well, it's not.
Yeah,
there's like nothing
gaslighting
you
me.
can do. But there's nothing we can do. You just have to keep
going.
going.
And he's like, something's not working here. Oh yeah, I've wrote down here, Nico was celebrating 600 races this weekend.
Was he?
Yeah, and Max was celebrating 400 races.
No way.
Yeah.
Nico kind of slayed. You know, we've got to stay positive for these Saubers. And he kind of was slaying, you know, with it. He did an overtake.
Yeah.
And I was like, we saw a bit of Nico.
Was it?
I can't remember now, but he did. We saw it, and I was like, "Go on, Nico, get it."
So Hajar was in P4 at this point. Lap 25. Far. Lap 25. So this is when you mentioned Norris pitted. No. So
skipping ahead.
We're on like lap 26, 27. Norris has waited this whole time. You know, he didn't pit when George pitted at the beginning when they were having a battle. They held out. We were saying they're probably waiting for a yellow flag. They were like, never mind, we've got to just go. But then immediately, was it Ocon at this point, I think?
Yes, it was.
Ocon goes onto the grass. Yellow flag. Bad for Norris, because this was literally seconds after he'd already pitted. Very, very good for Verstappen, because he had a 34-second lead. So he had a completely safe pit. So that was very frustrating, but it was really interesting because Leclerc was also fuming because Leclerc had pitted early on.
Yeah.
And he was having a go. Not really having a go.
He was. He was.
I think he was probably just voicing
his
his own frustration.
They both were coming into this race.
Yeah.
They weren't happy.
No.
So, yeah, and then I think because they'd already pitted him and then they had to pit him again.
Yeah.
I think he pitted like 3 times as well.
Well, he tried to pit again later, but they were like, we've got to call it now.
Yeah.
But like, Leclerc was being quite frustrated because obviously this would have been a great opportunity. And he was literally like, why is it always me? A very Neville Longbottom moment, but why is it always me? I think Charles had some pent up anger in him throughout this race, which kept coming out. Hamilton was for a while really struggling to overtake Stroll. But
which is
was interesting.
Yeah, because at that point, obviously now what we know, them finishing and Lewis finishing P4 is amazing. But at that time, when he was struggling to overtake Stroll, I was like, surely not.
Yeah.
Like, no offence, Stroll, but
Yeah,
come on.
There was a lot. I think there was a lot of traffic at this point.
Yeah.
Again, because of the safety car, and everyone went into the pits at the same time.
Yeah.
Everyone coming out of the pits. George had like a bit of a wobble, some kind of brake issue, and then he nearly went into the back of someone.
Yes, well, that was the thing, yeah. When he was coming into the pit, and it was very close, because it was like, I think he got brake checked, but obviously not on purpose, but nearly smacked into the back of someone else.
Yeah.
And I just think it was hectic, and that's when there was loads of things going on, and like penalties, maybe things were noted to the FIA, and it was a lot. I was getting a bit confused.
Yeah, we were a bit like, what's going on? But there was there wasn't a penalty throughout this race. No one got a penalty, did they? So, a lot of questionable moves, but actually
it worked out okay.
It worked out all right.
Is that the FIA being...
trying to be like, we're actually
trying to be nice,
good.
like, don't worry. Don't worry, darling.
Probably.
Maybe.
They're like, we need to keep in the good book.
Or are things going to come out now? Because you know how they, like, look at things later on. And then they're like, actually, no. You get 5 seconds taken away.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I think everything that was mentioned was, like, resolved during the race. But who knows? So Hamilton finally overtakes Stroll and Antonelli, but Antonelli being the big one, which he's been trying to do for ages. But unfortunately, obviously later in the race we see Antonelli go off. Something wrong with the car. Yeah, but anyway,
literally the same as Ocon.
Literally went onto the grass.
Yeah.
So this is when we have a bit more of a conversation about tyres. So our mediums at this point in the race, we're in like the late 20s, early 30s laps. Mediums, the commentators saying, are they better now? Because at the beginning they're not going to last as long, but now that the kind of track is cooling down, wearing in a bit more, they've got less fuel, so the cars are lighter. Are the mediums the right tyres to be on? Because I think there was only 5 drivers on mediums, and the rest were all on hards. So it was this toss-up between medium and hard, medium and hard. But I thought that was really interesting that it was like kind of halfway through the race. It's like, now is the switch up, maybe? So, and then Hamilton easily overtook Hadjar. So we're starting to see some positive results.
Yeah, we are. He's picking up the pace. Definitely.
Picking up the pace. So then lap 38, straight after Hamilton took over Hadjar, Leclerc takes over Antonelli. So we've now, the Ferraris are building up, getting up there.
Yes.
And Piastri is trying to overtake Albon in P3. This was a difficult one for you, Jess. I've put difficult one for you, Jess, because you don't like.
It was, yes, yeah. I did want to talk about that. Thank you for bringing that up, because 2024 me was like McLaren.
McLaren.
Yeah, and I am still McLaren. Can't say I'm not. I still love my Zach Brown. I still love Oscar and Lando. Who doesn't? So, but I love Williams, like probably more than I did McLaren. Looking back, and so it's really hard because obviously I want Alex to finally get a podium. Yeah. He was in P3 at this point. I wanted him to stay, but then at the same time I'm like, but I want both McLarens on the podium, and I want Piastri in that P3, which obviously eventually did happen. He easily overtook Alex, which is not to my surprise, but there was obviously a part of me that was like, I do really want to see Alex on the podium just for once.
It's definitely a conflict because obviously Piastri's like on the top of the leaderboard right now.
Yeah, but we knew I knew he was going to overtake him. Like, but there was a part of me that was hoping for him to not, but he did, and then unfortunately Alex then got caught up with the Ferraris, which that wasn't good. That was a test to our friendship just there.
A test to your oh yeah, sorry. You did literally what you posted on our story, and you literally just went, What was that with?
F you Ferrari.
F you Ferrari, sorry. Sorry.
Well, that was because it was wheel to wheel with Charles and Alex.
Yes.
And
contact.
Kind of nearly, and then Alex got pushed off the track.
Yeah.
And Charles then had to give, but because of that, then both Ferraris got ahead of Alex.
Yeah.
So then he was down to P6.
Yeah.
And then he got given back
the position back. That was right position. At the end.
And Charles really didn't want to. He was like,
Charles was
I didn't do anything effing wrong. Like, this is ridiculous.
He was like, is this what racing has become? Blah,
yeah,
blah.
yeah. And it's like, well, darling, you did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Bit sad.
So sad, but good for me.
Yeah.
Fun for me.
Good for you. Yeah, a bit of conflict here at the Drive Like a Girl pod, but it's fine.
Giving you the side eye.
Giving me the side eye. So then, lap 46, Antonelli goes off, and this is when it all switches up. So Max
gets
another yellow flag and a full-time safety car, not a virtual safety car. So Max gets another free pit stop. Again, has his front position very safe, uncontested. Leclerc wanted to pit at this point, and he wanted to go on the softs because obviously the softs will allow him to be really fast, really quick, and we're
coming
only
up few laps left. Yeah.
But the team were like, we've already pitted you twice.
We can't do it again. So then he was annoyed again.
He was annoyed, and he was like, I get what the team was saying, like your tyres are perfectly fine, like they can last till the end, but he wanted to try and
it's definitely because it was an Imola race as well.
Yeah.
And you could see from both of them they really wanted to be on that podium. They were close,
and it was good. Again, emphasize like the rise that they did from where they started, I think is amazing. Still good and something to be happy about.
100%. As a Ferrari fan, they, even though they weren't on the podium, to still get what they got.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Good. I'm buzzed. I'm pleased. I'm content.
You should be.
You know what? I'm not buzzed, but I'm content.
No, you should be, darling.
Thank you. At this point in the race is when, as we mentioned, we're really close to the end, and Lando wants to try on the newer, cleaner tyres to give Max a run for the leadership.
Yeah.
But Piastri is in second position. So Lando is saying to his teammates, as we mentioned,
he said,
we swap over?
Oscar's tyres, he's like, I can see Oscar's tyres are running, like, just let me through. Just give me the position.
I'm just saying. He's like, I'm not saying to do that, but I am just saying.
But he could, not to butt in on this, but I think obviously they did end up going wheel to wheel and racing together, and that was obviously because they didn't say, Oscar, give the position back. They let Lando overtake you to give him a chance for pole position, but they just let them race, which I think is a really good decision, because
then you can't out of your hands,
exactly, and then it won't cause any issues with them. And I think, to be honest, they were both quite happy. Well, I don't think Oscar was as happy in the post-race interview. Lando had a beaming smile on his face because he managed to easily overtake Oscar and get P2. It's definitely hard. But I think they handled that in the right way, personally.
100%. I think it's definitely hard because part of you would think, like, obviously Oscar is leading right now, so as a team you would kind of want, maybe if you had a number one driver and a number two driver, which we know that McLaren famously don't want to have, but if you did and one of your drivers was winning and that was your number one driver, you would work to keep them in that winning position. So, they're kind of proving the point as we're letting them, we don't have a one don't have a number one driver, but it's interesting to think if they maybe had said no, Lando, like there's no point, obviously, like then Oscar would have been in that P2 position and would have got those more points. But I think I totally agree with you that it's right that just letting them race means that it's like out of their hands. Nobody can be like angry at any kind of particular team orders or anything. And the safety car lasted ages.
Yeah, it did.
They had to like let Oliver Behrman go in front. Can't remember if that was this safety car.
No, it was this one. It was this one because it was Max and Ollie, and then obviously Oscar.
Yeah.
At that point, or was it Lando? No, it definitely
it was Oscar at this point.
And then they had to obviously let him go finally, and then he had to go all the way
way
around
to
the
the back
track
before
to the
they could-
back before it was a green flag basically.
But because the safety car was so long, the commentators were like talking about that those on hard tyres were going to have a much harder restart. So there was a bit of a worry for like Hamilton there on the Ferraris, but I think he pitted and swapped off. So because this was so close to the end, we've now got a sprint to the finish. So the safety car finished on lap 54, and I think it was 57 laps. So big
it was
sprint
quick.
to the end.
I was kind of like, when the race ended, I was like, oh.
It suddenly just happened.
Yeah.
And because Max was so far in front, it literally just like, and Max can see the checkered flag. And we were like, what?
Oh.
We were just looking at these guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, the race did just like come to an end really, really out of nowhere. Leclerc managed to overtake Albon into fourth during that last sprint. There's more than 57 laps, because I've put here lap 60. Leclerc pushes Albon off track, and this was the drama, which then Leclerc did have to was forced to give the position back. There was a lot of conflict in terms of Leclerc didn't really understand why, but the rules were kind of explained that if you are the overtakee, to be the overtaker, you have to at least get to in line with the person you're overtaking's wing mirror. And at this point, Albon had, and when you're at that point, you have to give them a certain amount of room, and Charles did not.
Like, not even a little bit. Like, they were if Alex didn't go on the gravel, they would have crashed. And luckily he got on the track fine. But still, that could have been really bad for Alex. Something worse could have happened.
I think it
could have been out of the race.
Confusing slightly the rules.
It's not.
No, because
it's
one of the
black
guys
and white.
It's black
on
and
the
white.
screen. You saw it. I saw it. Position back. I knew straight away.
So Charles was very fuming, and then suddenly the race ends. Max set the fastest lap, and he did that the day before in his sim race too.
Yes, he did.
So
that was quite impressive from Max. He clearly was practicing a lot the night before.
Yeah.
But so what was the overall finish result? So we have Max P1, Lando P2, Piastri P3, Lewis Hamilton P4,
Charles P5.
No, Alex P5.
Sorry, because of the controversy.
That just happened. Alex P5,
Charles 6. I don't know what's after 6. Who came 7, 8, 9, 10?
7. We'll
look it up.
Let's get it up.
But yeah, how would you rate that race out of 10?
Okay, because we're getting more and more into the season. I'm not forgetting past races, but I'm like, what have I said?
Yeah,
I think it was a good race.
Yeah, it was. I really liked it.
A lot of overtaking, a lot of craziness with the 2 yellow flags, which gave it a bit more summon, which was nice. Sad for Kimi. That's my overall take from that. I'm really sad for Kimi. Very happy that Alex
is up there.
So
was Sainz. So Sainz got P8.
Yes, P8. Really good finishes for the team. I think that gives 10 points. 10 points for Alex, I think. Mm-hmm. And then 4 points for Sainz. So really good for Williams, and I can't wait to see James Vowell's little post-race chat on the Williams
on
page.
Instagram.
Love it.
Where are Williams now in the standings?
Let's see.
Let's have a look. Teams. 5th. That's very good.
Yeah.
So good. So it's McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, Williams.
I'm just manifesting a podium for Williams this year.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Manifesting.
I actually really do think it's going to happen.
Alex is so close. He's been so close the last 2 races. I just feel it. I feel it. It's in my bones. Where did everyone else finish?
So everybody else finished. Wait, let me go back to the results. Race results. So then we've got
Russell.
7th Russell, 8th.
That's not good for Russell. That's not good for Mercedes.
Mercedes did not.
They were having issues, with the car.
So hopefully they fix those. Sainz 8th, Hajar 9th, and Tsunoda 10th.
Yes, Tsunoda.
What do you think about Red Bull right now, like, I think they must be shaking in their boots.
I just find it insane, because normally with teams and their cars, their other teammates not
far
far behind.
They're pretty close together.
But one thing I've really noticed in the last 2 years with Red Bull is Max just dominates the other person. And I know we talk about this, and it's because he's such an amazing driver. But I'm like, is their cars that different?
Yeah.
Because, like, the gap between Max and anyone else on his team is insane.
Yeah, the difference is actually nuts.
And obviously it's because Yuki did DNF. Like, I get that.
Yeah. In qualifying.
Yes. In qualifying, sorry. So to still finish in the points is amazing. So I'm not saying it's like
any easy feat, but
yeah, but I find it insane that Max can just fly in like any car.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just
there,
so adaptable to anything.
Yeah. I wonder
his driving style is just amazing.
Who would be that best second driver? I honestly think it would be Carlos.
Do you?
Would be a team of Carlos and Max. I think would be insane.
I don't know. I would be too scared for that to happen. I'd be way too scared, because it's like I feel like Carlos, I would die if he ever left F1, which obviously is going to happen one day. But for right now, I'm like, he's still got a good couple years in there. And because he's with Williams, I'm like, that's secure to me. And I think he feels secure in Williams, and he really wants to progress with them. Same as the way that Alex feels. They really want to progress with Williams. Same as like Lando felt with McLaren, and he waited that long, and look at them now. So if Carlos was to ever go to Red Bull, I'd feel really uneasy about it, because they drop him like fucking flies. And it's scary. But Carlos was at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And so was
Alexandra,
and she was
in dress.
Oh my god, her dress! It was this like pink, flowy at the top and at the bottom, but in the middle, in like a corset, it was like dragon scales.
Yeah, it was really giving Fourth Wing vibes.
Oh my god, it was like what Violet, what's her name?
Yeah, Violet Sorengel.
She needs to wear that on like, I don't know.
But in black.
In black.
Yeah.
But like,
so
that's
good.
what I imagine in the book. If anyone's ever read the book, or if you're reading Iron Flame or Fourth Wing, don't listen to this, skip ahead. But you know when she goes in the mill with
Kat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they make her fight against this is just like people who don't know. I'm sorry.
They fight against the
yeah, and she finally is like dressed in a dress. She wears one of Kat's dresses.
Yeah.
She walks in, and they're like, "Oh my god, like she's stunned." That is the dress, but in black.
Amazing.
I would wear that dress. Like,
I would wear that dress.
I just think it looked
insane.
Amazing. I couldn't get over it. And then obviously Smooth Operator, stun. His Instagram pictures, stun. I can't get over it.
Yeah, you sent those to me. Those were so
I had
funny.
to send them to you, because I was like, and he did a video where he's like, Smooth Operator. I was like, mate, you know you're fit. Like, come on, don't laugh now. You know how stunning.
You know you're fit.
You're looking in the mirror, looking like that. You know you're fit. Come off it. Carlos Sainz, you just can't get better than him. You just can't. I'm sorry. He's just... I'm sorry. I know as women we're not allowed to... What's the word? Gawk over these men or F1 drivers, because
gawking.
you know whatever.
We're
but
appreciating.
Come on, how could you not? Carlos Sainz. Right, that is anything you wanted to add?
Nothing
because I don't think I have anything else. But I really loved. I'm really been enjoying our TikToks, and more to come, people. So please subscribe, follow us. Like and comment anything you want to see for the next. I know we have a few more subscribers this time round, so, and especially on social media. So, if you have any suggestions of what we should talk about in the next podcast, or any games you want us to play, anything you want to see from us, we are open to everything.
Yeah,
we are. And I hope you enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, and we'll see you after Monaco.
Oh my goodness. So we triple-headed this is.
Yeah.
We've got 3 races in a row. Love you guys, and see you in our next episode.
Bye.